Yeah, I go by the name of Misterclassics, and welcome to Jambox 101. Yeah, and this is Music Beginners Production, or Music Production for Beginners Cubase. That's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Lesson 2, Series 3. And this is the end of this segment where we be doing, linking the faders together. And we'll be doing some stereo panning. And we'll be setting doing some little examples and exercises so you can understand how all of this works right here. You know what I'm saying? Live with Misterclassics, Jambox 101. Learn how to be great. Perfect your craft and be the best you can be. Yeah. Learn from me and get the trunk knocking. Making progress, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. He is the man of the hour, Misterclassics. Say man, how y'all doing, man, this afternoon? Y'all doing all right? Feeling pretty good myself, man. You know what I'm saying? Love to make progress, love to make progress. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, I'm not gonna tarry on any further. This right here is Jambox 101. You know what I'm saying? Music production for beginners. Cubase. Series 2, Lesson 3. And this is the end segment of this lesson right here. Before we go on into the next part, which I will mention in the end. Matter of fact, I'm going to say it now. We gonna get into these plugins. You know what I mean? Show you how to use this plug-in chain, and we're gonna start out with some little instruments, and we're gonna show you how this process works so we can get the best sound we can get. So I'm glad everything is working out the way it is, man. I'm glad things working out pretty good. So I can't do nothing, like I always say, but be happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna mess with this here focus a little bit, let the thing zoom in, do what it need to do, cause I want everything showing good, and I don't want y'all to miss nothing. You know what I mean? So Okay, now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do the links. You know, we're gonna do the link faders. So first thing I'm gonna do is this. I bring the mixer in. Bring this mixer window in. Let's see something here. Where we at here? Y'all just bear with me for a minute here. Get my little oh, shut up. Stop. Stop. There we go. Yeah, he ain't gonna hang me up. We gonna get it going. All right, now. Okay. So this is what we gonna do here. All right. Now, you see this right here? This button right here for Cubase users, it's called Q-Link. And that's the button that you use on the mixer to link the faders together. So what this technique is good for is it's good for static mix. It's good for overall mix. And it's also good for if you want to submit something to your mastering engineer. If you got a mastering engineer that you submit your music to, this is going to be very beneficial to you if you don't know it already. But I'm going to teach it to you anyway. So you see this right here? I'm clicking on that, Q-Link. Now, what I'll do next is go down to the first fader, activated fader right there that you see. Now, what you have to do is you have to hold down the shift button, go to the last track, boom, there you go. Now all of the tracks are linked together. So I'm going to show you how this works. It's a very similar technique to the gain staging I did with the vocal part, where I was doing gain and boost and cut. I'm going to use the correct terminology. Boosting and cutting on the vocals. This is the same thing. You're just dealing with faders. It's pretty much what that was on that part, but getting around to this. So we're going to demonstrate this so you can understand how this works. Now, before I get started, I want to shorten the loop. Instead of having it playing through the entire section, we don't want that. We don't want to put people to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to put y'all to sleep. But this is how we going to do it right here. We'll stop it right here. Just like that. Okay. Now, slide that back. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you. We're going to bring this. We're going to bring the mixer back in. You need to get out the way. You happened last time. So now, okay, put everything back in its rightful place before we get started. Okay. Now, okay. Now, here we go. Now, do you see I got that selected? I got Q-Link activated. I hit the shift button and selected the last track. And you got 5 linked tracks all together. I'm going to demonstrate how this works right here. Let's listen closely as I raise and lower the volume with all of the faders linked together. So you see pretty much how I did that right there. Linked the faders together. The mix stayed in place because sometimes we can tend to be on if it's not linking, just say you saying, well, I want to lower the snares of this the snare track, and I lower this right here, and you know what I mean. You lower it, and you say, well, I forgot where I had it at. Now you jam. You know, you got to figure out what decibel setting you had that at. Now, this is another thing I want to mention to y'all before I go any further. This will help you out. This has been a big help to me right here. If you do this for yourself, you will save yourself a lot of time. When you initially set a mix, before I go on into the linking, initially before when you get your mix set, I'm pretty sure you got a note section in your mixer. And you just type the decibel setting in there. You know what I mean? All the way down the line, type your decibel setting in there. You're going to save yourself a lot of time, because if you go in a session and you set those faders and just say you work on the session, you say, I'm going to do this for the day. I'm going to do this static mix for the day. I got this. And then you come back again with some fresh ears and go back in there, open this session back up, and you start moving faders around, and you ain't got no settings. You don't forgot your set mix. You don't forgot your, you know what I'm saying, your optimal mix. And you got to figure that out and remix the track all over again. So you want to save yourself time. You know what I mean? You want to have a set standard, a set point, to where if you going through the mix and you run down through the mix and set faders and you say, well, I don't like it. Well, let me go back to originally where it's set and start back over. You got a starting point. So that'll work good for you as a starting point. And I'm pretty sure not only just Cubase, but you got Pro Tools, you got Reasons. I don't know if Fruity Loops. I don't know too much about Fruity Loops. Maybe it does, maybe it don't. Pro Tools, I know has it, but that'll save you a lot of time right there. I just wanted to put that in there for you. You know, just put into consideration. Now, with that being said, you got your link faders right there, and I'm gonna explain again. Like I said, that's what that's good for. An overall mix. Once you got your mix set, maybe it's too loud. You know, you might say, well, it's too, let me bring it down some. It's too high. You know what I mean? I'm using the wrong cursor. But you might say, well, maybe it's too high. Let me bring it down. Or maybe it's too low. Let me bring it up. You know what I mean? So, so you can get that resolution. You know what I mean? That's what you want. That's why you want to keep them fader levels in between 12 and negative 12 and negative 18 decibels, because if you're doing the mixes and it's not in that bracket, you're gonna miss the resolution that you can have in that sound. So you want to keep that right there, So with that being said, that's that. That is link, doing your boosting your gain with your link faders. Now, you got to get yourself out of what you got yourself into. Okay. All right. Now, to deactivate that, you just hit that Q link right there, and then you deactivate that, and now you back to normal. Okay. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get into stereo panning. I was in a live on a Cubase live, and I saw where a person asked, how do you do stereo panning? And so I believe that when they do those, they do them and they are on exactly what they're teaching, and they have so many people to come into their stream that some of those people's questions don't get answered. So I pay attention to those, and I let people know on those lives, hey, well, you may not have gotten it there, but you can come to my channel, and what you missing, you can catch on my channel and watch it there. So they asked this question, say, how do you do stereo panning? So we're going to get into that. Okay, so right here, and we're going to explain just basic panning, balance panning. We're gonna explain that so you understand what it's used for. So panning, basically, you using panning to create a stereo field from the left to the right side. Yeah, from the left to the right. So you creating a stereo field. So before we go into the, excuse me, y'all, before we go into the stereo panning, we're gonna do single, panning. So you understand what it is. So it's not a set rule or ain't no golden rule to panning. You know what I mean? You have to do, like I say, what works for you. But for the most part, you want your drums, you want your snares, you want your vocals, you want that running up the center. Background vocals, you want them over to the right or left. You know what I mean? You might double the background vocals and have one over to the right, have one over to the left. You might have an effect on the left side and something else on the right side. But that's just basically what it is. You might put your pianos over to the left, you might put your synthesizers far right, far left. They're just basic things that I learned, when I was in, where you never out of a learning curve doing music. You never out of, but during that time, that's what I learned. So we're gonna do a demonstration so you understand. But with this, I'm just gonna solo the track here. Now, you may not hear the what's taking place on this streaming application. But if you in the studio yourself and you just experiment with this yourself, then you'll hear it and you'll understand the effects, and you just spend a lot of time just understanding how it works. What to put where. Google things up and look. And see. Look at the the stereo field, the mixing field, and see what they got. Pan left. See what they got over to the right. Try it. You know what I mean? If you might try that and say, well, that work, or no, well, let me do it this way. You know what I mean? That might be good for that, but at least I got an idea. So, what we gonna do? Matter of fact, I'm gonna take the solo off. Whichever one of y'all raise y'all hands first on this track, that's the first one we're going to use. So let's see who raised their hand first. Okay. There you go. So you getting free pick. You raise your hand first, so we're going to pick you. Now, we got the track soloed, and now we're going to start it back over. What I'm going to do is shorten this up even. Well, okay, yeah, we'll keep it like that. That's fine. That's fine. We'll keep it just like that. Now, I'm going to bring this fader in. You have to adjust the light on this screen so that camera refocus. All right. So, here we go. As you notice, as I fade this or pan this from hard right to hard left, the signal on the left side is going to leave, and then the right side is going to increase, and likewise. Let's take a look. See how that's changing? We'll take it back to the left side. See how those meters are changing and adjusting. So that's basically, that's how panning works. You trying to determine where that instrument fits best in the stereo field and in the mix from the left to the right side. So that's basically what that is. And if you move these faders right here, for those of you who don't know, you move this fader and you can't get it back center. You just put your cursor right there and click and command. It'll put it back in place for the Cubase users. So Now we're gonna get into stereo panning, which was one of the students asked. And before I go on, matter of fact, over the weekend, I bumped into one of my students that I'm teaching, and I might make a video out of that because he told me, he said, well, I was at home in the studio and I was recording my vocals, and he said I kept getting this is like echo, you know. So I asked him, I just kind of narrowed right down to it. I said, well, was it like a delay? Did you have, I said, have you been watching the videos? I said, did you go back to my lesson one where it told you about the buffer settings? And, you know, he said, yeah, I watched it. I said, well, did you have any type of fix, delay, or anything like that? And he said, no. So, you know, maybe we'll get something together where I can bring him in live, and, you know, I can invite him in on the StreamYard, and we can get him set up, and we can, you know, we can see where he got hooked up. Cause that's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to create a community, you know, like I say, a forum or a community to help, you know, producers and people solve problems with their DAW. All right. So going back into this, so all right. So the first track, raise this hand. So we finna see who is going to be the next candidate for the stereo panning. Whichever one of you say something second, you're getting free pick, and we're gonna choose you. So let's see. Uh-huh. Well, we just gonna go with you. We gonna go with this one right here. Even though I know it was you, we gonna go with you, because your level is a little bit better for this exercise. So we gonna solo this. Now, stereo pan. Now, that was single panning. Now, you see when I put the cursor over the top of the mixer where the panning window is, you got a power button on this side, and you got a drop down arrow on this side. It says select panel. Now you got one that says stereo combine and stereo balance. Stereo balance is what it was already set on. Stereo combine mean you combining both the left and the right side of the panning spectrum. Now, there you go. Now you see that right there. Now, let's see what we got going on here. To make sure that gets played, I'm gonna adjust the timeline up here, just so it does this part right here. I'll bring that in. Now, there we go. Okay. Now, we're gonna see how this stereo panning works out, which I believe is gonna be pretty similar, but just the only thing is the field is wider, and you can adjust the field to fit in between the monitors. On one side of the monitors to the center, on the left side of the monitors to the center. You know, you just have to see how all that works out. Now, okay, so we're gonna get into it. Okay, you see how that works? Got a little hot rod in there. Hey. Okay, well, okay, we'll just let it run. Now, you see that? Now I can narrow this. So basically, that's what that is, and I'm gonna loop this here. That way, ain't fighting with the, move this out the way. Y'all just bear with me for a minute. Get everything back in place, so y'all can see what's going on. Now, so there it is. You know, you can narrow the field, Make it wider. See what I'm saying? You grab the end, you can spread it, narrow it. So basically, that's, like I say, that's what that is. And for me, just honestly, if you ask me, from me doing that, that would work good. Just thinking about it with vocals, it would work good with it would work good with the kick. You can center the kick and have a wider feel with the kick. Vocals, kick, snares. You can have have the snare to have a little wider feel. You know what I mean? Just depends on. But that's what it's all about: being creative and experimenting with it to find out what type of results that you can achieve. And just speaking of which, now this is what I'm going to throw in as a bonus. And some of you may know it, and some of you may not. But I'm gonna throw this in as a bonus because that's my student once again earlier right before I started doing Jambox 101, and we got to talking, and he said I be in my studio, and he said I be trying to record. He said, but I have to run back and forth between my keypad and my microphone. So I hit record at my keypad, and then I have to run back to the microphone, do my recording, then run back to the keypad and stop the recording. I said, well, what you need to do, I said, you get you a keyless keypad. Get you a keyless keypad. And you set that keyless keypad, that keyless keyboard, not keypad, but keyless keyboard with the keys, where you type your letters, but it's cordless. That's what I mean, cordless. Get you a cordless keypad, and you set that cordless keypad right near where your mic stand is. You set that cordless keypad where your mic stand is, and you can control everything from right there, right where you standing at. You ain't got to run back and forth or none of that. You know what I mean? And this is what it looked like. Keyless keypad. So you just so you know what it looked like, it's solar powered. You see that? I can take that anywhere in the room I want to and record, hit play. I don't have to be sitting at this chair just to do it. I can be back there in that corner right there and control the studio from back there. I can stand in this corner, I can stand outside the house if I want to and put that keypad and look through the window outside the house and control the studio from outside of the house if I want to. That's just, just making an easier workflow for you. So, like I say, with that being said, this right here concludes this series. So, before we end this, we just gonna break everything down. Now, when you go on this channel, start from the introductory video all the way back to this lesson. So, like for the beginners, you run all the way down and you just keep looking at them. Keep looking at the video, keep watching them, keep looking at them, keep watching them, keep learning, keep studying. Because the more you watch these videos, the more you're gonna attain it, the more you're gonna retain it. The more time you spend with it, the more fluent you're gonna get with it. And all that is doing is helping you with your workflow. It's cutting down time, your production time. You able to do things quicker. You able to think quicker, think faster, get things done in a quicker manner. But you using professionalism and you applying it to it. You know what I mean? So it basically over time is gonna eventually train you and turn you into being a mastering engineer, because you gonna evolve. So it's ain't no sense in taking no shortcuts and say, well, let's do this the easy way and do this. Guess what? You might not have a budget to bring a mastering engineer in. Then what you gonna do? So why not learn it? Why not learn the details and the specifics? You see what I'm saying? Unless you just got some money to kick out a mastering engineer to do 6, 7, 8 songs, you might as well learn it from the jump. Then you know you get fluid at it. And guess what? You could be a producer and a mastering engineer. You can charge somebody to, like what I'm gonna eventually do. Charge somebody to master their music. You expand it. You know what I mean? You expand yourself. Expand your horizons. Grow, evolve, expand. I just wanted to, kind of put a little motivation in there. You know what I mean? And just take your time and break it down and study things, and analyze things, and you know what I mean. And you take this right here, what I'm teaching you, and you apply it to what you got in your studio. Your studio, you might have less than me. You might have a studio that you got way more stuff, but just try it. You know what I mean? What is gonna hurt? It's knowledge. You know what I mean? You know what? Like I say, I feel like I'm a wealthy man if I can get on here and take this thinking cap and pull it apart and spill this knowledge out for somebody else to get it. You're a wealthy man if you can do that. You know. But with that being said, this concludes this series, Jambox 101, Lesson 2, Series 3, Gain Staging. But this particular one wasn't gain staging. This is much more leveling. You know what I mean? So let's go back. Remember, we're going from lesson 1 all the way to now. So your buffer settings. The lower your buffer settings, the harder your computer to work. The higher, the less your computer gonna work. Buffer settings, you got your gain staging, with your plug-in levels, your fader levels, before you start recording. Got your gain staging with your vocals, you know what I mean? You set your vocals on your on your interface. The level is between, recording and gain stage. You want to get it in between negative 18 to negative 12 dB, long as it's floating in between that area, which is right here, right down in here. And see, when you do that, once you do that right there, once you got a static mix at this level, and even if it's underneath where the resolution area is, then that you can bring in you can bring in the Q link. Sorry, y'all. You can bring in your Q link like I demonstrated earlier, and you get that done like that. Keep on moving. Start dropping your plugins in. Start dropping your plugins in, and there you go. So you got your like I say, your gain staging with your vocals and everything. And now we at this part, your link faders, you know what I mean, your stereo panning, your balance panning, and also your gain staging with your with your with your vocal parts. I want to show you one more thing also before I end this segment that is also involved with gain staging. Your MIDI part. Okay, so if I click on, let's see, we'll just do this right here for size. Now, try to squeeze this up so you can see it. Now you see that right there? Get that reset back right. Now, you see that right there? Now, this is also a form of gain staging with MIDI. So the only thing I did right here was selected the MIDI part, one of the MIDI parts on the track, which is right there. When I clicked on that right there, your editor control came, your editor window came up for those parts. So normal size, and I don't know what that. So all I got to do is I select this. Matter of fact, I'll go here and demonstrate this for you. I think these the open hi-hats, and I will solo that part. Okay, and here we go. Matter of fact, let me narrow this down here so it plays only that part. Okay. Now, we're going to pay attention to this, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing as I do this. So we got that part selected. Okay, right there, that part. Now, raise this back up. See how I got that all selected? Now when I do this, a little arrow comes up, scale vertically. Now watch this. So you see that right there? You see? So there, you know, pretty much in a nutshell, that's how that works. So I throw that in, and that way you didn't miss out on anything with the gain staging. So now I just throw that in there for you with the MIDI gain staging on the MIDI part. And in the last session, it was gain staging with the vocal part. So now you can look at this and you got everything all bundled up for you to learn. Don't miss out on none of them videos, because every last one of them has got some important stuff in it for you to learn from. If you want to, if you're serious about being a producer, if you're serious about mixing, if you're serious about perfecting your craft, if you're serious about improving, because I'm telling you, the more you do it, the more doors gonna open up for you. The more insight is going to be given to you. The more you search, the more you gonna see. You know what I mean? Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. See? Ask and you shall have. So it's the same principle. If you can apply that right there, the what you got going on, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. But like I said, with that being said, this concludes this session right here. Jambox 101, music production for beginners, series 2, lesson 3, and that was linking faders, stereo panning, balance panning, everything all wrapped up for you. So, like I say, if you know anybody that's interested in it, you know what I mean? Like, share, and subscribe. When you go to the channel, Misterclassics -YouTube, that's MISTERCLASSICS. And let me make it easy for you to see. There. You see that name right there? Right there. That name right there. -YouTube channel. .net website. You type that in the IG, that's my IG page. And by the way, like I said, since I got it down here, I want to make y'all very aware of this. Back Alive EP, you know what I mean? Produced this thing myself, you know what I'm saying? Missed it, did everything myself. No mastering engineer. Just did it on a whim. Did it myself, man. You know what I'm saying? Just did it myself. Tupac once said, he said, man, everybody spends so much time trying to be perfect. He said, just put the stuff down. You know what I'm saying? He said, I put a lot of stuff down. He said, I know it ain't all that, but you just got to put it out. You just got to do it. So, that's what it's about, man. So, you know what I'm saying? It's the Back Alive EP. You can get this at my website, Misterclassics.net. You know what I mean? And you go in there, and it'll take you directly to the PayPal account. You can type everything in the links. It got the fields in there where you can type your address. Everything already set up for you, man. 6-song EP. You know what I mean? And it just basically talks about this a storyteller right here. When you look at it, you know what I mean? Look at the titles. It's a it's a transition of phases, man. Trying to make it, doing this music, cause when you doing this music, man, you You're going to have adversity. You know what I mean? You're going to have, trials. You're going to have good time. You're going to have success. You're going to have wins. You're going to have losses. You're going to have people that's going to be for you. You're going to have people that's going to be against you. You're going to be doing it. Hey, you might say, hey, let me fall back for a minute, man, and try something else, but then you might get called back to it just like I did. That's what this is all about right here, man. Real life lesson, man. So go over to Misterclassics.net and check that out. Had these things pressed up myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm fluent with the Photoshop. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I did the CD, designed the CD. Now the photographer did what the photographer did. The logo, I did that myself, you know what I mean? So y'all go over there and cop that thing, man. It ain't nothing but some real life lessons. You know what I'm saying? Gonna put you in the right direction. But with that being said, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all up no longer. I appreciate y'all. I hope this was educational. I hope it was exciting for you. And I hope it stimulated your mind to go further with your craft. And I go by the name of Misterclassics. And this is Jambox 101 live. Y'all have a good evening. I'm gonna take y'all out on Magic Mike. Let's see. Y'all give me just a minute. I've been all doing this. Let me unlock everything. Okay, we're gonna unlock everything. Make sure everything gets set. Get y'all a little entertainment going on the way out. And y'all get ready for that's what we're gonna talk about while I'm right here. The next lesson is gonna be series 3. Lesson 3, series 1, and we'll be talking about the plug-in chain. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you what I got, and you can go off of that right there. We're gonna learn about these compressors. We're gonna learn about these VU meters. We're gonna learn about this volume. We're gonna learn about this stuff, man. Do it right. You know what I mean? And the more, this is sounding good now. I plan for it to be even sounding even better by the time I get to the end of it. You sound like it's somebody got they drop parked in your driveway beating. I want to get it like that, and we gonna get it like that. But with that being said, man, y'all have a good evening, man. Take y'all out on the Magic Mike, man. You know what I'm saying? Get a great state roses, man. You know what I mean? Let them know this ain't dead, man, and the South ain't over. Y'all take it easy, man.